What's up, Sam Ashers, and welcome back to New York City in the Sam Ash Spotlight. Once again, we're here at our flagship store on 34th Street, and I have the sincere pleasure of introducing truly the one and only Mandy Harvey and her awesome interpreter, Janice.
Well, hello.
How are you, Mandy?
I'm really good. I'm really excited to be here. It's always fun to be back in New York, but it's my first time here in this store, so it's like I'm just looking at everything.
Oh, awesome. Thanks so much for checking us out. So you like the store? That's great, and we're so excited to have you. It's a pleasure to have you here today.
Oh, well, it's my pleasure to be here.
Awesome. So you're on tour right now, playing at City Winery tonight.
Yeah, I am. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've been touring a lot this past 2 years. I'm only home like 3 days a month.
Wow.
Here, there, and everywhere. But it's always fun to actually visit and see friends. And so I have a lot of friends in New York, so it's going to be a lot of fun tonight.
Oh, that's fantastic. So
Yeah.
you always get to see your friends. Do you play a lot in New York?
This is my second time doing like a full concert here. The first time we played at the Iridium, and that was a lot more of a jazz show, but same musicians. I have incredible musicians around me, so we always have a fun time.
Nice. Well, City Winery is beautiful. It's classy. It's a fantastic venue. I think you'll really love it.
So I won't fit in.
Of course not.
Nice.
So, Mandy, can I ask you about ukulele a little bit?
Of course.
So,
Of
of
course.
all the instruments that surround us in this store, what is it about the ukulele that you feel so drawn to?
I used to play the guitar. And I grew up playing the guitar with my dad. And for me, that was like my first introduction to music and my first love. But because I was born with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, I have a really difficult time with my hands. And so playing the guitar, it would dislocate my fingers and I couldn't play it anymore. So I became like really sad, really depressed about that. And a friend of mine said, you know what? Why don't you just try a different instrument? She gave me her ukulele to borrow, and with one finger you can play, multiple chords. And so I was like, oh, I can do that. For a limited amount of time, I can still play that. And so I fell in love and became fascinated with the ukulele, or ukulele if you want.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your ukulele, your relationship with Kala,
Yeah.
and how this beautiful ukulele came to be?
Yeah. Well, my first ukulele that my friend gave me was a Kala. And so I became biased, but I went to a lot of stores and I took a lot of people with me. For me, because I can't hear it, I have to rely on other people's information and going to a lot of different stores, pulling people aside, random strangers, said, what do you think of the sound of this? What do you think of the sound of this? And feedback after feedback after feedback, everybody loved the Kala sound quality so much better. And so I bought Kala, and that was just where my heart was. So then when I did America's Got Talent, I was playing my Kala, my love, and they saw it and they were like, hey, we're so happy that you love it. And I was like, are you kidding? I love it. And then we just became friends.
Nice.
And the opportunity came. I said, I would love one day to be able to design my own ukulele. And so I worked with my sister, Katie, and we designed this one. So it's based off of my song, Try, which has been seen, that audition's been seen like over 500 million times collectively, which is crazy. And it spoke to a lot of people. And so we wanted to have an instrument that could inspire and that was visually attractive so that when you walked by it, you were wanting to pick it up and actually continue to practice and continue to play. So, and when you're not playing, it can be wall art. So it's a visual reminder of that you're not alone, that you're involved with something beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, not to put you on the spot too much, but I will say that I've always been a believer that music has spiritual and kind of magical, in some ways, power to bring certain feelings and emotions out of you. So when you see yourself on America's Got Talent for the first time, tell your story, sing your song, and then hit that glorious note where you say try, it's hard to even sit here on the couch holding this ukulele, sing this word "try" and keep it together. It's kind of tough. So it's a beautiful song. It's very inspirational, and you should be very proud of it.
Oh, well, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
And you should be super proud of this. I picked it up and I was playing it today, and I've played a lot of ukuleles, and it doesn't matter if you are going for the Mandy Harvey sound or the folk sound or any sound that you're going for. This is just an incredible ukulele to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the goal of it. You
Sure.
want to have something that you're actually, inspired to pick up and continue with. If you don't like the sound of something, or it's difficult to play, or it hurts, there are going to be a lot of people who just give up, and they're like, oh, I have the goal to learn how to play, but then they never do.
Right.
But if it's fun to play, if it's interesting, and you can put yourself into it, then you'll learn how to play it, and then you'll be able to express yourself in so many different ways. And I think there's so much of a need to express, and so many stories that people have deep inside that they need to get out. And I think for me, writing music with the ukulele has been one of the best decisions I ever did.
Oh, that's fantastic. And how did the artwork come about?
So the inspiration for the artwork is from my sister and myself, based off of my grandmother. She was a huge inspiration for me, and she had some really beautiful gardens, and she loved birds. And so she was always an encouragement to never give up, and she was also kind of hard, like, hey, why aren't you doing that? So it was like a constant push to improve. And so when she passed away, I wanted to do something for her, to remember her, and also to flood my head with beautiful thoughts and memories, so that when I'm sitting to write music, I can think of and travel and to go to beautiful places.
Wow, that's a great outlook. Amazing.
Yeah.
So you gave up on guitar because it was hurting your
I
fingers.
still play it sometimes, but only for like 5 minutes. But yeah, truly, I did give up on it. It's a love of mine.
It's over.
I gave up. I lose. Yeah.
So besides ukulele, do you ever find yourself sitting behind a piano or any other instruments to?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I play a bit of piano. At my concerts, I always play at least one song on the piano. I like a lot of different instruments. I just find them very difficult on myself. So I have to be very conscious about what I choose and how long I play. But I mean, I'm in love with percussion for obvious reasons. I love the bass. I love the feeling of it. That's one of the reasons why I like stuff like the ukulele or the bass, is because you're holding on to the instrument, and then it booms more. Because I can't hear it, I can feel it, and then I'm a part of it. And with piano, you can feel it, but you're very visual. You can see it, but you can't really feel it that well. With other instruments like percussion and drums, it kind of takes over your body, and so I like those ones.
Wow, that's amazing. So in that same mindset, a lot of musicians these days, we have everything at our disposal. I mean, just sitting here in this store, I'm looking around. I mean, we can pick up any one of these things, play any one of these things.
Can we?
We can.
They're so pretty.
We can try.
Oh.
You like percussion,
So
so got to put in a rim shot. But a lot of us are procrastinators. We sit around, we let it go by, and it takes us so long to get anything out. And yet you are working on your 4th album, is that correct?
Yeah, this is my 4th album. It's going to be all original material, and it's my first album with a record label. So
Wow, congratulations.
Oh, well, thank you. It's gonna come out soon, so I'll be able to release information very, 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 very shortly. But as far as procrastination, it's difficult for me because I just don't have that ability anymore, that viewpoint. I started a career path of music education, and then it just went away. And so I have a very broad understanding that time is not always a luxury that you have. Yeah. And so I want to get as much music out as possible. I want to play as many instruments as possible. I want to express myself as much as possible so that I don't feel like I had all of this stuff locked inside of me that I just let sit there.
Right. So can you tell us a little bit about the process of how you write a song?
Yeah, it's very different for me because I sing stuff all day long, all day, all night. But if it's not recorded, I'm never going to remember it. So it's like a ghost. So what I tend to do is I'll sit and I'll open up my phone and I'll put on a recorder and I'll sing whatever. I'll just sing whatever's in my heart. And then I have to send it to somebody who can hear, who will chart it out for me. That being said, you never know what you sent them. So it could be awesome or just utter garbage. And it's actually gotten me past that point of fear of judging my work. Because it doesn't matter, good, bad, awful. They're listening to it, and then I get to see it back and go, oh yeah, oh God, you know. But
And what are you
I'm not
looking
afraid
at when that
anymore.
happens?
Like a sheet music.
Okay, so you read sheet music?
Yeah, of course.
Cool.
I was a music education major. Come on,
Nice.
music theory, it's life.
I was a music composition major.
Oh, so you know.
I know. Now I know. You told me I know. Now I know.
Now I
Perfect.
know. And knowledge is power.
That's power.
Yeah, Schoolhouse Rock, G.I. Joe, you name it. But no, I look at back on sheet music, and then from there I'll write the rest of the lyrics and the poetry behind it, and then create the music vibe and feeling based off of how I feel it should go, and then explain that to my musicians. And I'm very well versed in theory, so it's not like I don't know what I'm doing.
Perfect.
But at the end of the day, I'll never really fully understand what it all sounds like together. That's where you have a lot of trust in other people. And say, well, I expressed myself. There it goes.
Nice. So Mandy, in a world where music could have easily been something that you passed on and said, this isn't for me anymore, obviously, what is it about music that keeps you so inspired to keep going? How do you maintain that inspiration?
You know, I think when you're a musician, you're a musician. It doesn't matter if you can hear or not. It's like a part of your soul. And so for me, if I wake up tomorrow and I lose the ability to be able to sing, or I can't figure out how to do it anymore, I'm going to be picking up a tambourine or a cowbell or figuring it out, you know. I'm going to find another way to express myself. And music has always been my way to express myself. It just is. Doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, how much money you have. It's part of you.
I love that answer. If you're a musician, you're a musician. And that's just how it is.
Yeah, period.
Period. That's incredible. So Mandy, playing on stage in front of a huge audience, how how do you interact with them? How do you respond from them? Because you can't necessarily hear them, but do you get an energy from them? How do you relate to the audience while you're playing?
Well, I always play without my shoes.
Okay.
And no carpet on the floor, so that you can feel the floor. So you can feel the vibrations of the band. But when people scream or clap, you can feel it rumble through the floor. I always encourage, though, deaf applause, because it's very visual.
Cool.
And then there's always an energy. But it's actually funny, there's a part with you, if you watch my AGT audition video, you'll see me giggle. When everybody stands up and starts screaming, I giggle. And it's not because I thought it was cool, it's because they were so loud. It vibrated the stage so much that I couldn't feel the band anymore.
That's amazing.
And I was like, I just went rogue. I was like, I hope they can follow me because I have no idea what's happening right now. And I was like, shh. In my head, I was like, shh, you're messing me up. But
Nice.
it ended up working out in the end.
Wow, that's
you find a
incredible.
way. You find a way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've met some incredible people who find a way. There's a dear friend of mine, he's blind and he's a painter. Or I have a friend named Kyle, and he was born without arms or legs, and he crab walked up Mount Kilimanjaro.
Wow.
You find a way.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. And what do you find more rewarding, writing music or performing music?
Interaction with people. So I think that there's something special about being able to write music and express yourself, but to be able to sometimes express something that other people don't have the words to say, and then they can put themselves in that story, I think it's the next layer up. You know, there's been so many people who have come up to me and said that this song or this song that you've performed, it said exactly what I wanted to say, but and then they just cry. And I was like, that's the reason why you're a musician. You're expressing yourself, but it's so much more than just selfish. It's about connection. It's about community and creating that community. So when I'm performing and have the ability to help bring a whole group of people together, regardless of their situation or regardless of their ability or non-ability or different ability, in that one moment, we're all together on a journey, and that's something that's priceless.
That's amazing. Well, Mandy, in a world where so many people can see themselves as having a handicap, I think that's what just makes you truly unique and truly amazing. And it's been just such a pleasure sitting here with you, talking with you. You're an inspiration to us all. This has been great, and thank you so much for being here. And we wish you luck on your tour and everything that you do in the future. And we hope to have you back sometime.
Well, thank you.
Of course.
There's a lot of things to say thank you for in that list of stuff, but it's truly an honor, and I'm really appreciative that there's places like Sam Ash that people can come and they can pick up and they can dream and it can inspire them. So it's truly an honor to be here.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. I'm going to let you go ahead and address your audience. If you want to tell them where they can go to keep up with you, how they can interact with you, go for it.
You'll have to move fast. I keep moving.
Nice.
Hello. If you want to follow me, you can go to mandyharveymusic.com or visit me on Facebook or Instagram. A little bit of an Instagram whore, so that's probably the place that you'll find me the most, at Mandy Harvey, just straight on up. But I'm on tour a lot, so if you want to catch a show, you can always find me on Bands in Town for ticket information as well. So, and I love you.